What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here, and today we have a very big story to talk about coming out of the competitive League of Legends scene. As always, not always, but a lot of the time here on this channel, this story is still just a rumor. It is still just a rumbling. It is still just speculation. You know, nothing is confirmed here by any means, but it is a pretty big story. It is regarding the import rule, regarding import restrictions around the world potentially being lifted. This is obviously something we have talked about in the past. I mean, especially during the spring split, this story was really popping up. Things were really getting big. But now during MSI, these things are popping up once again because obviously a lot of these import rules are really centered around international play. We've talked about this a lot. We've given my opinions. We've gotten the opinions from a lot of other people. But this is honestly a really big update. And the news coming here, we'll take a look at some tweets and stuff in a second. But that the fate of the import rule, not only in North America, but I would also assume around the world, may just be in the fate of and in the hands of Cloud9, which is something really crazy and really interesting, but we will talk about all of that in today's video. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, please take a second and smash that like button. I would appreciate it so much. It really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm, helping get my videos, channel, content out to more and more people. You know, we're trying to grow, we're trying to get big, we're trying to get seen. All those eyeballs would be appreciated a ton. Also, subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. We have tons more awesome videos coming your guys' way. MSI, off-season coverage, big news stories, rumors, speculation, rumblings, all of that good stuff. With that being said, let's get right into this. Esports Maniacos. This is, you know, just kind of like a esports, I don't even know what you would call it, just like journalists and stuff, like a company like that. You know, we see a lot of these publications and stuff all over the place. They are a big organization, and they did tweet this out yesterday, I believe. Yes, yesterday, May 16th, and it translates from Spanish, so, you know, I couldn't read. I know a little bit of Spanish, but not enough to know every single word. So luckily we got Google Translate here. So they said there are rumors that maybe for next year NA will have no import restriction. Now that's nothing new. You know, we've heard that for a while. Travis Gafford's talked about it. A lot of people have been talking about it. We've gotten to hear really from all the different teams in the LCS. We've heard from some different teams around the world, like Carlos for G2, maybe some European teams and stuff. But what I don't necessarily understand about this tweet is that it says there are rumors that there will maybe for next year NA will have no import restrictions. I don't really think it's possible for just NA to lift the import restrictions, because would NA really be able to go to international events having no import restrictions and compete against other teams who are having import restrictions? Is the import rule really something that can have a league by league basis? Or does there have to be no import rule or import rules? You know, like say NA has no import rules. Is it really fair for them to be going to MSI Worlds and stuff and competing against EU, Korea, China, whatever, and them still having their import rules in place? You know, if the NA rule does get lifted, would the other leagues want theirs to get lifted? Would Riot want all of them to be lifted at once? That's what I don't really understand, because it was kind of my thought all along that if this gets lifted in NA, this is going to be lifted everywhere. I thought this would be a blanket lifting of this rule. I thought that Riot, you know, had full power. I mean, they do have full power over everyone, but I thought this would be one big global decision, not a case-by-case basis. So maybe that's just poor wording there. Maybe it is just for NA. I don't know exactly for sure, but that is just kind of something interesting to think about, because yes, people are talking about if NA lifts the import rule, what's going to happen as far as NA stealing talent from all over the world, mostly from Europe. This would you know, really hurt Europe and really help NA in that regard in the short term. In the long term, I don't think this would be that great for North America, but in the short and long term, I think it would be bad for Europe. But also thinking over to the other side, to the eastern half of the world, China probably going to steal a lot of Korean players if the import rules are restricted as well. You know, we already see a lot of Korean imports and stuff over in China, and China's got a lot of money and they can be throwing it around big time, and this really could hurt Korea in the short and long term in a lot of ways as well, and really help out China in the short term. And I don't think China would be as hurt by this in the long term as a region like North America. So that's just something to keep in mind. But what they do go on to say here is that they do believe that in the event Cloud9 gets, they say deleted, I assume that means, or I'm pretty sure that means eliminated from MSI without qualifying for the knockout stage, that next year there is 100% no import restriction. They're saying 100%. So they're saying that the rumor they're hearing behind the scenes is that the future of the import rule could rely on what Cloud9 is able to do at MSI. Now, you know, Cloud9 is not eliminated yet. Things obviously did not go completely their way today. They had some high highs, they had some low lows. Things were not great, things were not amazing, but the future could be in their hands. Tomorrow, the final day of the MSI Rumble stage, could be a very, very big deal. And at one hand, I don't think it makes sense because Cloud9 has looked pretty solid throughout this tournament. They've obviously taken games off RNG, taken games off Damwon. They've been right there with them. Another thing that doesn't make sense is that obviously Cloud9 already has 3 imports. We already see a lot of North American teams importing a ton. Yes, I could see how Cloud9 would maybe want to import for like Fudge in the top lane, but Fudge has been pretty awesome for them. Maybe they could go out and land a huge jungler that they think's better than Blabber. I don't know. I don't think they'd really replace Vulcan. I don't think they would replace Sven. You know, he's already an import. They could already replace him if they did want. So I don't really know how that would make sense. But I do get how the owners have been asking for the import restrictions to be lifted for quite some time, and then them failing to even make the knockout stage of an international tournament would be a little bit more evidence for them, a little bit more, just build their case that they're bringing towards Riot. That's like, we're putting a ton of time, effort, and money into these organizations. We're taking a huge financial risk, and look, we can't even make it to the knockout stage at MSI. Riot, you gotta save us. You gotta do something. Come help us, please, please, please. So I think this would be weird. I think it would be crazy, but tomorrow is a huge day for NA, a huge day for Cloud9, and potentially a huge day for the whole LCS, potentially a huge day for the whole League of Legends esports world. Like, whether or not this import restriction gets lifted could impact the history and the future of League of Legends. It could be something that either spurs an insane period of League of Legends where we see insane growth, insane viewership popping off. Maybe it really works out for the better in so many different regions, and everyone's happy, everyone's great, people are making money, but it also could potentially lead to the death of League of Legends. We have seen decisions like this be made before in other esports, and it worked out horribly. Potentially, you guys know how I feel about the import rule. I think if the import rule gets taken away, yes, we could see an improvement in NA in the short term. Obviously, bringing in more imports, you think we're probably going to do a little bit better, but I think it would be to the detriment of the NA talent development ecosystem. And if there is not a pipeline for new North American players, young North American talent to be ascending up the ranks, getting into amateur, getting into academy, getting into the LCS, I think it could destroy North American League of Legends. People would lose interest for the game. People would stop playing the game. People would stop watching the game. I think it could be terrible for viewership, terrible for the game, and terrible for Riot in so many ways. So yes, I get these North American owners. They're trying to save money. They have made terrible investments. They have not developed North American talent like they promised they would. They have not followed up on so many of the promises of LCS franchising, and I believe lifting the import restriction would be rewarding them for their own mistakes, rewarding them for their own just bad business, really, at the end of the day. I don't know. Crazy in so many ways. So let's take a look at what some other people are saying. Monte Cristo, really polarizing guy. I don't usually agree with a ton of stuff he says, but he does have some points. Obviously, he likes to play the villain role a lot of the times, but he does have some things here. So obviously, Pentanet took down Cloud9. People are going to be like, oh my God, spoiler. Well, this happened today. This is a big part of the story. I don't know. If you watch my videos, watch MSI, whatever. Pentanet beat Cloud9 today. And he says this is a stark reminder that full NA resident rosters can win at the international level. Cloud9 just lost to a full OSH team. You can say, whatever your excuse is. Well, if imports are really so much better, and if native talent really makes it unwinnable, then beat Pentanet, whatever. He says solo queue ping is not a major factor in international success. People are going to, go back and forth on that one, whatever. I don't think we really know definitively, because some OSH players are at this tournament saying that playing on the ping that they have from Iceland to US is honestly not that bad and doesn't really affect them. Again, you could say otherwise. Well, then beat Pentanet, show them, I don't know. And then 3, teams can win without any regional league, which is also a little bit interesting. Just kind of some different things there. But obviously the thing I wanted to focus on here most is that first part, that the full NA resident rosters can win at the international level. We saw that, Pentanet taking down Cloud9. Pretty embarrassing overall for NA, especially, just a short time after OSH has kind of imploded. NA got to steal all of the top Oceanic talents, and then still in a big game, a must-win game for Cloud9, a game that they are trying their hardest after Pentanet has already been eliminated. They have nothing left to play for. Still dropping games to them. Pretty embarrassing, pretty sad, pretty bad overall. And then again, the answer for Cloud9 isn't, oh, we need to do things better, we need to develop talent better, we need to coach better, play better, whatever. It's hey, Riot, can you please lift the import rule? What if we had a Korean up in the top lane? What if we had another European in the jungle? Like, I don't know. I hate it. I think it's gross. I think it's disgusting. But anyway, I get it. It's a short-sighted business decision by the LCS owners. They are losing money. They are having to pay so much for these talents, and they are having poor showings and poor results in international tournaments. But again, I think it is very, very short-sighted. Even if it helps out things in the short term, I think it has the potential and opportunity. Not for sure. I'm not going to say for sure, and I don't think you should either. Either way, I don't think either side knows what's going to happen. We're all just predicting. We're all just analyzing and guessing. Educated guesses at the end of the day. I think there's at least an opportunity, a chance, a potential to absolutely destroy the future of North American League of Legends, which again, NA is a big region. The United States has a ton of brand sponsorship. There is a ton of money. Yes, obviously China, Korea, these are huge markets as well, but having something be successful in the United States is absolutely something you want if you do see League of Legends being an esport 10, 20, 30 years from now. Look at all of the American sports organizations, how much money they're worth, how much money the United States has, power, influence, all of these things. You do not want to lose NA. You do not want to destroy the future of North American League of Legends. You want the players who are going to be the biggest, the teams that are going to be the biggest here are going to be natively developed talent and players. That doesn't mean you can't have any imports, but I don't really think you want to go the way of having 5-man import teams and thinking that's going to lead to you building your brand, your fan base, or anything. And then people also say, oh, well, we can build our brand fan base internationally. Are Chinese viewers, are Korean viewers really going to tune into the LCS when it's at terrible times and they have their own regional leagues that are very, very well developed and everything already, and it's in a completely different language? I really doubt it. So good luck building your brand internationally while also destroying your brand regionally and domestically. I don't think it makes a ton of sense, but this is what people are out there saying. Again, not confirmed, just a rumor, just speculation, just kind of what people are saying out there. Potentially this import restriction rule could be lifted, and it could all depend on how Cloud9 does tomorrow in the final stage, the final day of the Rumble stage. Again, if Cloud9 wins and they make it to knockout, does that mean the rule's going to stay? Absolutely not. It doesn't sound like that. But if they lose, is it gone for sure? I don't know, but it's starting to sound like that. And what does that mean for the future of League of Legends? I don't know for sure, and I don't think anyone really knows, but it's going to be crazy. It's going to be interesting. It could be really good. It could be really bad. But this is the latest news that we have. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I would really appreciate it if you did drop a like. Leave a comment down below. What do you think should happen? Do you think they should lift the import rule? Do you think they should keep it? Do you think Cloud9, you think it should depend on what Cloud9 is going to do tomorrow? I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save the date on the latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.